Welcome to the demo of release 4.5 of the Excel interface, or XLI for short. As I mentioned in a prior video, we continue to invest in the product, and this is our second release for this year. This current release 4.5 primarily focuses on enhancements in resource management and also contains enhancements for requests and underlying architecture. On our website, PPMetrics.com, you can find the product's datasheet as well as videos demonstrating other previously added capabilities such as updating financial summaries, resource pools, and requests, as well as reporting features. So let me go ahead and go to the XLI. So here it is on the desktop. So to the normal user, it's just a Excel spreadsheet file. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. So this instance has single sign-on enabled, so I don't have to actually enter my credentials. The XLI remembers them. So I'll go ahead and log in. Once authenticated, the XLI exposes the sheets that are available to me based on my XLI admin security settings. So here are all the different modules corresponding to different tabs. So let me go ahead and click on Staffing Profiles. So the first enhancement that I want to point out is that we've added the ability to retrieve and update freestanding staffing profiles. So there's a new slicer option here. For this demo, I'll need to use staffing profiles attached to a portfolio entity. So I'll go ahead and switch to projects. I'll look at data for this year in months by FTEs. Let's go ahead and display allocations and resource fields. I'll click on the search button. So if you're familiar with the XLI and the staffing profile search screen, you'll notice some changes here. So let me go ahead and explain what's going on. So let's first take a step back and think about what happens when a staffing profile gets opened within PPM. What's going to happen is that it displays the first X number of positions by default. In many cases, this behavior doesn't really make sense, especially if the user needs to do a lot of additional scrolling or filtering to get to the position he or she needs to update. Loading the positions to get to the correct one takes time. Now consider if the user only needs to create lines, he or she still has to go through this loading process. We've created a new XLI design for a selection of positions to download, and we call a creation only mode, so no lines need to be downloaded to the XLI at all. So on this screen, you can see some of the advanced position level filtering that's available. So for example, I have role, I have by assigned resource, I have a checkbox for managed by me, the logged in user. I can even search for staffing profiles and the positions by portfolio as well. This enables more intuitive, effective, and focused work on relevant data only. This approach significantly mitigates concerns around load time of large staffing profiles, since you download only what you need. So let me go ahead and choose the web interface. I'm going to demonstrate the creation only mode. So down here in this box are all the positions associated with the AP web interface staffing profile. So I won't click on any of them. Right? If I wanted to bring down the positions, I could just click on the positions and then hit go. But let me just search again, click on AP Web Interface, and I won't click on any positions. I'll just click Go. So now I can add any staffing profile positions to this staffing profile. So in the drop box for staffing profile name, I'll select AP Web Interface. Then I can go ahead and fill out this position information, such as the role, position label. Now I'll talk about this resource type field. So many customers have asked that the resource type field on staffing profiles be made a required field. This isn't possible out of the box, so we created a new admin setting to enable this. So that's why it's currently enabled and required. So here's where I put my forecast data. So I want to mention an enhancement here in this area. Date columns now utilize autofit to adjust to the width of the text. Previous versions had a constant width, so this approach saves a little bit of screen space. So I'm going to forecast 1.5 FTEs for the first 6 months of the year. So let me go ahead and choose DBA, because I don't think this position actually exists yet on the AP web interface. I'll click on Save. Then when I do a search again, I'll click on AP Web Interface, and you can see now the new position I created for the DBA. Now let me show an example of using a position level filter, such as assigned resource. So click on select, and we'll look for staffing profiles and positions where Abe Vernon is assigned. Click on select, hit search, and these are all the staffing profiles where Abe Vernon has a position and he's assigned to that position. So I'll click on any of these, and you can see all the staffing profile positions associated. If I click on all the staffing profiles, I can see all the staffing profile positions where Abe is assigned as a resource. Now imagine if Abe was leaving the organization. I could easily download this data and reassign his work to a new resource if I was a resource manager. So let me go ahead and broaden our search a bit and bring back a little bit more data. So click on clear, just do a generic staffing profile search. I'll select the two Acme projects. I'm going to go ahead and bring in some staffing profile positions from both staffing profiles. So I want to mention that in terms of performance, it takes the same amount of time to download 5 positions out of a staffing profile that has 20 positions, or 5 positions of a staffing profile that has 200 positions. In this release, we also added the ability to send resource requests for multiple profiles at once. So this isn't possible out of the box. So let me go ahead and click on the envelope icon. And you can see here that I have positions for 2 staffing profiles where I can possibly send out resource requests. So if I click on the envelope icon, this will actually send out the resource request. So I'll click on exit. We've also added a new data safeguard feature, where upon saving staffing profiles, users will get notified if another user has updated one or more of the same staffing profiles since that staffing profile data was downloaded into the XLI. So let me go ahead and switch into PPM and have a user update a staffing profile that I currently have open in the XLI. So I'm actually going to work on the Acme company intranet. So here is that staffing profile, and it's currently opened by Abe Vernon. So I'll go ahead and just make a modification or update. So make a change in PPM, go back into the XLI, make an update and click on, oops, let me finish, actually make a change, then click on save. So I'm given a warning message that Abe just a few moments ago had updated this staffing profile. I'm given the option to cancel or continue with the save operation. So I'll click on no, not to proceed with the save, and I'll refresh. Another new feature we've added allows the XLI to automatically book resources based on their available capacity when making assignments, meaning whatever minimum available capacity will be applied to the unmet demand. Available capacity calculations take into account regional calendar, resource calendar, and resource pool memberships. The auto booking takes into account unsaved demand and allocations as well. So let me go ahead and make an assignment and show this auto booking. So here is a position. For this resource pool, I'm actually a manager of this resource pool. So I'll go ahead and click on the assign button. And you can see, since Alex Smith was requested, he's actually the first person that shows up in this resource pool and is available for me to assign. So I'll go ahead and assign him. So as soon as I assign him, XLI determines that I can automatically book him for 0.5 FTEs. So let's see why that is the case. I click on his name. I can see that he's actually only participating in this resource pool, the GIS consultants, for only 50% of the time. Hence, I can only utilize them for 0.5 FTEs for the forecasted amounts for April through September. Let me go ahead and save these changes. Now let's click on the Request tab. So this tab, Request, allows users to retrieve requests or project details and then update any custom or out-of-the-box fields. You can even create new requests. So let me mention a few new enhancements in this release. So we've added the ability to search for multiple request IDs at once. So you can see here in the search box, I can enter in multiple request IDs. So note that all the supply request IDs must be for the same request type. Just separate them by commas. And go ahead and click on search. Here are the results. You can click on go. And I'll download these two requests into the XLI. We've also added the ability to make certain fields read-only in XLI, even if they're not read-only in PPM through our new admin setting. So you can see here actually in the assign to field, this is actually made read-only by the XLI admin setting. We've also added the ability to override the default description filter field with a custom field, both label, data source, and filter condition through, again, under the admin setting. One other helpful enhancement in this release is the ability to add a general filter that always gets applied to searches of a given request type. So let me go ahead and do a general request search. So you can see here are all the custom filters associated with the support request. So I define them for this request type, and I can then use them to help search for relevant data. So if I look at another request type, this is the custom filter defined for project risk. Let me go back to support request, do a generic search, and bring back this data. To aid in consistent support, we've also added a mechanism that ensures all the XLI users use the same version of the workbook. If not, they're taken to your preferred site from which they can download it. In addition, we've also added HTTPS support to the XLI for added security. So let me go ahead and finish up this demo. We'll talk about some of the key features of the XLI. So there's no end user installation of the XLI. To the end user, they just simply download and use. The XLI can retrieve, create, and update individual or multiple PPM entities at once. You can also create Excel-based reports that are accessible through the XLI environment. And users get to use the native user interface capabilities of Excel, such as copy and paste and the formulas and everything they love about Excel. The XLI also allows you to integrate PPM with external data sources. You can also apply custom business rules. So for example, time normalization, use custom rate cards if the cost rules in PPM don't work for you, etc. And also very important is that the XLI retains PPM data integrity and also preserves the security model inherent within PPM. So if you'd like more information about the XLI, please contact us at info@ppmetrics.com and please visit us at www.ppmetrics.com. Thank you.